We live our lives carrying an invisible weight. Every morning, you wake up, and before your feet even touch the floor, you reach for a heavy backpack. Into it, you throw the opinions of people you don't even like. You add the anxiety of a future you cannot predict, the heavy regret of a past you cannot alter, and the exhausting expectation that everything in your day must go exactly as you planned. By noon, your shoulders ache. By evening, you are intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually depleted. You look around and ask yourself, why is peace so elusive? Why does tranquility feel like a luxury reserved for ancient sages sitting on mountaintops rather than a reality for a modern person like me? The truth is, we have misunderstood the pursuit of peace. We treat peace as something we must acquire, a status we must earn, a vacation we must book, or a bank account balance we must reach. But the Stoic philosophers of ancient Rome and Greece saw it differently. To them, peace is not something you build. It is what remains when you finally stop doing the things that destroy it. As the great Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. If you are tired of feeling scattered, anxious, and perpetually on edge, it is time to stop adding more to your life. Instead, we must begin the process of subtraction. Today, we explore the 12 things you must stop doing immediately to finally unlock a deep, unshakable inner peace. Let us begin. Stoicism is often misunderstood as a philosophy of cold endurance, of grit, suppressed emotions, and suffering in silence. But at its core, Stoicism is a practical guide to mental freedom. It is a philosophy designed for chaotic times. Epictetus, born a slave who rose to become one of the most influential teachers in Rome, taught that our distress does not come from the world around us, but from our judgment about the world. We torture ourselves with habits of mind that we actively choose to maintain. To find peace, we do not need to escape our lives. We do not need to move to a cabin in the woods or abandon our responsibilities. We simply need to stop sabotaging our own minds. Let us examine the 12 self-destructive habits you must leave behind today. The absolute foundation of Stoic philosophy rests on what Epictetus called the dichotomy of control. He asserted that some things are up to us, while other things are not. Up to us are our opinions, our desires, our boundaries, and our own actions. Not up to us are the actions of others, the economy, the weather, traffic, sickness, and the past. Yet, how much of your daily anxiety is born from trying to force the uncontrollable to bend to your will? You worry about what your boss thinks of you, whether the train will be late, or how someone will react to your honesty. When you attempt to control what is outside your influence, you make yourself a slave to external circumstances. Stop fighting the wind. Focus your energy entirely on how you steer your own ship. Peace begins the exact moment you look at a chaotic situation and say, "This is not within my control. Therefore, it is none of my concern." We live in an era of metrics. We measure our worth in likes, views, job titles, and the nods of approval we receive from our peers. But Marcus Aurelius offered a sobering perspective on this human obsession with praise. He asked, Does an emerald lose its beauty if no one praises it? Does gold or ivory? When you require the validation of others to feel whole, you hand over the keys to your happiness to people who are just as lost and insecure as you are. If their praise makes you happy, their criticism will make you miserable. Stop seeking the applause of the crowd. Your character, your integrity, and your virtue are self-contained. Let your own high standards be your only judge. If you know you acted with justice, kindness, and courage, the opinions of others are merely white noise. We crave stability. We want our relationships to remain perfect, our bodies to remain young, and our comfortable situations to stay exactly as they are. But the universe operates on a fundamental law of change. The Stoics called the active acceptance of this reality amor fati, the love of fate. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly that everything we see is undergoing rapid transformation, breaking apart to form something new. When you resist change, you are fighting nature itself. This resistance creates a deep, constant friction in your soul. Stop grieving the passage of time or the ending of seasons. Instead, learn to flow with change. See every transition not as a loss, but as the natural unfolding of the universe. The great Stoic statesman Seneca wrote extensively about the tragedy of human procrastination. In his masterpiece on the shortness of life, he noted, "You are afraid of dying, and, tell me, is the kind of life you lead any different from being dead? We live as though we have 10,000 years to spare. We tell ourselves, I will finally be happy when I get that promotion, or I will start living mindfully once this busy season is over. By doing this, you are treating the present moment, the only moment you actually possess, as a mere stepping stone to a future that may never arrive. Death does not wait for you to finish your to-do list. Stop waiting to live. Peace is not waiting for you at the finish line of your ambitions. It is available to you right now, in this very breath." It is incredibly easy to fall into the habit of complaining. We complain about the weather, our spouses, our governments, and our daily inconveniences. We believe that by venting, we are releasing pressure. In reality, complaining acts as a magnifying glass for our misery. Marcus Aurelius gave a strict command to himself. Let no one hear you complaining of life at court, no, not even yourself. When you complain, you adopt the mindset of a victim. You declare to the world that you are helpless against your circumstances. The next time something goes wrong, challenge yourself to remain silent. Do not internalize the grievance. Accept the situation as it is, adapt, and move forward without a word of self-pity. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. These words by Seneca are perhaps the most vital medicine for the modern mind. How many sleepless nights have you spent rehearsing arguments that never happened, or worrying about worst-case scenarios that never materialized? Your mind is a powerful engine, but when left unchecked, it constructs elaborate prisons of fear. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Not to worry endlessly, but to mentally prepare for challenges and realize that even if the worst happens, you have the inner resources to survive it. Stop letting your imagination run wild with fear. Separate the facts of your situation from the terrifying stories your mind invents about them. The past is a ghost. It has no physical reality, yet we allow ourselves to be haunted by it daily. We replay old mistakes, wish we had said something different, or grieve lost opportunities. To a Stoic, the past falls squarely into the category of things outside our control. You cannot alter a single second of yesterday. Therefore, agonizing over it is a profound waste of your limited life force. Forgive yourself for what you did when you lacked the wisdom you have now. Treat the past not as an anchor holding you back, but as a schoolroom that has prepared you for the present. Take the lesson, leave the regret, and step fully into the now. When someone insults us, cuts us off in traffic, or delivers bad news, our instinct is to react instantly with anger, panic, or defensiveness. Epictetus warned, "Remember, it is not enough to be hit or insulted to be hurt. You must believe that you are being hurt." He advised that when an intense impression strikes you, you must step back and say to it, "You are just an impression, and not at all what you claim to be." Do not allow your emotions to be on autopilot. Stop reacting to your initial impulses. Take a breath. Create a gap between the stimulus and your response. In that gap lies your freedom, your power, and your peace. You cannot be all things to all people. When you attempt to please everyone, you inevitably dilute your own character. You agree to things you despise, you compromise your values to avoid conflict, and you betray your own boundaries. Marcus Aurelius observed that we are all self-centered, yet we care more about what others think of us than what we think of ourselves. Stop trying to mold yourself into what others expect. Realize that some people will dislike you, misunderstand you, or judge you no matter what you do. This is not a reflection of your worth, but a reflection of their own internal conditioning. Respect your own boundaries, speak your truth with kindness, and let others think what they will. In the pursuit of wealth, status, and success, it is tragically easy to compromise our character. We lie a little to close a deal. We betray a friend to get ahead. We ignore our morals for convenience. But the Stoics argued that virtue, moral excellence, is the only true good. Everything else, including wealth and reputation, are indifferents. They can be used well or poorly, but they do not make a person good or happy. If you gain the whole world but lose your integrity, you have made a devastating trade. You will live with a quiet, persistent guilt that no amount of money can quiet. Stop compromising your character. Guard your integrity as your most precious possession, for it is the only true foundation of peace. We often get angry when people are selfish, rude, or ungrateful. But why are we surprised? Marcus Aurelius began his mornings by preparing his mind. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, "The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." He did not say this to be cynical, but to be realistic. To expect a dishonest person to act honestly, or a rude person to be polite, is like expecting a fig tree to produce apples. It is contrary to their nature. Stop expecting people to be different than they are. When you accept human nature in all its flaws, you stop being shocked by bad behavior, and you preserve your inner calm. The ultimate disruptor of human peace is our deep, underlying fear of death. We avoid talking about it, thinking about it, or even acknowledging its existence. But the Stoics practiced memento mori. Remember, you must die. They did not view death as a morbid tragedy, but as the natural boundary of life. It is the very thing that gives our moments value. When you stop fearing death, you stop fearing life. You realize that your time here is a brief, beautiful privilege. The petty arguments, the social anxieties, and the minor setbacks lose their power over you when viewed through the lens of eternity. Let the awareness of your mortality strip away the trivial worries of your day, leaving only what is truly essential. Inner peace is not a destination you reach and stay at forever. It is a daily, active practice of subtraction. It requires you to look at your life every single day and ask, what am I holding on to that I need to let go? Do not try to change all 12 of these habits overnight. Choose just one to focus on today. Perhaps you will choose to stop complaining, or perhaps you will practice stepping back before you react to an impression. As you systematically subtract these destructive behaviors from your life, you will begin to notice a quiet, steady strength rising within you. You will find that the peace you have been searching for out there in the world has been waiting inside you all along. If you found value in this deep dive into Stoic wisdom, please subscribe to join our community of modern practitioners. Like this video to help share these ancient lessons with others who need them. And leave a comment below sharing which of these 12 habits you are going to work on letting go of first. Stay strong, stay resilient, and remember, control your mind, or your mind will control you.